Hello ladies and gents, Bushman here and welcome back to episode 2 of the Discover series. Today we'll be taking a look at probably my favourite MMORPG on the market, which is Guild Wars 2. When I say my favourite, it's certainly not the MMORPG I've put the most amount of time into, but that is the beauty of Guild Wars 2. You can take long breaks from the game and not be significantly behind or have to grind gear to catch up. Guild Wars 2 is probably the most casual, non-grindy MMORPG on the market and has the most balanced PvP out of a long list of MMORPGs I have played. That being said, let's not beat about the bush and jump straight into it. That will bring us on to the first and my favourite aspect of the game, which is PvP. There are 3 cores to PvP, which are Unranked Arena, which is 5 vs 5, Ranked Arena, which is 2 vs 2, and World vs World. First then, Unranked Arena. There are many different game modes you can play, which consist of capture and hold the points, player versus environment, which will consist of killing a boss to end the game or give you a lot of points, or take control of an objective to do damage to a specific area on the map. Unranked Arena is a really good entry point into the world of PvP, as you can start queuing as soon as you enter the game from level 1. You will need to enter the PvP lobby to organise your build and select what weapons, sigils, amulet and rune you will be using. To start off, I would highly recommend using a website called metabattle.com to find out what build plays best, but as you gain more experience, I would start trying to use a build of your own. This is one of the great things about Guild Wars 2, that you're not forced into leveling and playing through PvE content if you don't want to. Whether you have the best gear in the game or you're starting from the very beginning, everybody has an equal chance and the same equipment to select from in Arena. The only difference will be class abilities, which now and again have minor balance issues, but even with that, as I said earlier, in my opinion, it is one of the most balanced PvP games on the market. Knowledge of your class and skills is king, so I would highly recommend that you do play through the story and level to 80, which doesn't take much time at all compared to other MMORPGs, and it gives you a chance to build that relationship with your character. Once you get comfortable with your class and PvP in general, you can then move on to the Ranked Arena. The Ranked Arena is a 2 vs 2 team deathmatch on a small map where you can enter with a friend or be paired with a random player when queuing. It's a recent change in the game, and as Ranked Arena used to be the same as Unranked with the same maps and it was 5 vs 5, but as much as I didn't think I would like this change, it's absolutely brilliant. It reminds me very much like a WoW arena. You will play 10 games to determine your rank, then you can progress through the rankings to earn rewards such as skins and equipment for other aspects of the game. Moving on to World vs World then, and it's pretty much what it says on the tin. There are 3 different worlds which can contain up to 6 servers, and they come to the edge of the mists to battle in massive siege wars and territory control. The maps are huge, open world-like areas where players work as a team or work in small groups to weaken the opposing worlds. This game mode, you will have to be level 80 and equipment does count, so working on your gear and leveling up is required to play in World vs World. The battles in Siege Warfare are exhilarating, and you can spend hours upon hours in the mists fighting for your world trying to dominate the map. That's the core of PvP in the game, so let's take a look at some PvE. There are currently 3 games within Guild Wars 2, which is the base game, the Heart of Thorns expansion and the Path of Fire expansion, which is the latest one. These all have unique story modes to play through and massive amounts of areas to discover on the way, but I will try and bullet point the main areas you should know about before playing the game. The base game will consist of a personal story, dungeons and raids to participate in, and many events around the world as you travel through it. You'll find massive world boss fights appear as if out of nowhere, and everybody trying to come together to defeat these enemies. The map's scaled down to maintain a certain element of difficulty, so if you think you'll be able to get a level 80 to help you out to kill a hard boss, that might not be the case, as his level will be scaled down to the level of that specific area. Dungeons are also present within the game, and you can complete these as you're progressing through the levels, or you can enjoy them at level 80. Fractals of the Mists is a scalable difficulty dungeon for max level characters, which is normally used for gearing up for the raids in the game. Raiding is one of the hardest PvE aspects of Guild Wars 2 and something I haven't done personally as I'm mainly a PvP player, and getting the correct equipment for raiding is just something I've never focused on, but something I can always explore down the road. The Heart of Thorns expansion will also provide a fantastic story to play through, world events and bosses, and it'll gain you the ability to use a glider. The Path of Fire expansion, which is the current expansion, will also give you the same with daily tasks to complete, world bosses and events, but most importantly you'll be able to obtain mounts from this expansion. There are 8 mounts currently in the game and they will be all locked behind quests or achievement progress, so it's not a case of being able to go to a vendor and purchase one. All the mounts have one ability that can be used before dismounting, and they all have a purpose within the Path of Fire expansion itself, and to do different jobs throughout the world. For example, the Raptor can scale large gaps in the world and the Springer mount can jump huge heights. Crafting is also a big part of the game in the PvE world, and some of the best armor and weapons can be crafted. This is one part of the game that, without prior experience, may take you a significant amount of time, but there are plenty of guides to watch and follow to get you where you need to be. I actually love the crafting in this game, and as a PvPer it does normally feel like a chore, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I have maxed out leatherworking and Master Huntsman. One thing I can hold my hand up and say is I haven't used the Mystic Forge much in the game. The Mystic Forge is a place where we can create all kinds of weird and wonderful things, and you can create the best weapons in the game. It's also used as a gold sink or as a gambling tool by putting rare items into the Mystic Forge in the hope that it spits out something better. This may not be the best description of what it's used for, but the truth is I've no idea as I'm not a big PvE player and only recently started doing world versus world as I crafted some decent armor for it. That will bring us on to the world bosses then, guys, and here's some footage of the massive world bosses you will come across throughout the world, and there is no other word to describe the first time you come across these as epic. This is just one of them, but I'll not try and spoil too much and let you come across the others on your own. As always, ladies and gents, there's always going to be negatives, and I really don't have much to complain about with this game, but my main complaint would be the optimization of the game. Even with a high-end rig, you will find yourself in certain areas getting frame drops and performance issues, especially in world boss fights or large-scale world versus world fights. But let me tell you, the performance issues are really not detrimental or game-breaking. For whatever reason, when these frame drops occur, you can still play the game perfectly fine with no sort of lag or latency issues, but you do notice the drop in overall performance. I guess it is to be expected with the sheer volume of people on the screen, but it's not like other MMORPGs, and I'll take the example from the recent release of WoW Classic where it was just simply unplayable and starts to freeze. With Guild Wars 2 that doesn't happen. I would love to see them work on the optimization just to bring a smoother experience, but like I said, it's really not game breaking for me and just a minor complaint. In summary then, ladies and gents, Guild Wars 2 will provide hundreds if not thousands of hours of enjoyment, and if you need to take a break, there is no big deal, especially as a PvP player. It's pretty easy to pick up where you left off, and I couldn't recommend this game enough. If any of you MMO players out there, or even non-MMO players for that matter, have never tried out this game, it's definitely worth a shot. The whole reason behind this series was to give people inspiration to try out a new game or even a new genre. I hope you have enjoyed episode 2 of the Discover series, ladies and gents, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon and never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.